This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome to Daily Blast Live. It's Thursday, November 7th. I'm here with Stephanie, Brandon, Erica. I'm Jeff. Let's dive right in, guys. We talked about Whitney Houston's same-sex romance with her best friend, Robin Crawford, yesterday, but there are even more bombshells in her new book titled A Song for You, My Life with Whitney Houston. Turns out Eddie Murphy warned Whitney not to marry Bobby Brown. They had a thing for each other back in the late 80s. Just hours before Whitney was supposed to walk down the aisle, Eddie told her it would be a mistake. She didn't listen and spent the next 15 years with Bobby Brown.
Wow.
A lot of people were saying that she shouldn't marry Bobby, but I think another thing that people don't know about Whitney is that she was very much like this rising star, and like no one before her had really done what she had done.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they also like ostracized her. They called her Whitey Houston for a long time. So I think that a big part of the Bobby Brown thing was that he was the bad boy. He was an R&B superstar, and being attached to him kind of gave her that street cred, and being attached to her gave him like the credibility with everyone else because she was such a megastar. So I could see that being an issue.
But I wonder why Eddie felt like, he must have felt like he had some kind of right to be saying that to her on her wedding day in some way or another. But I find that really odd because I know that Whitney really liked Eddie back in the day, and they were meant to go on a date, and then Eddie stood her up. So, I mean, is she going to listen to that? Probably not.
No, but I think it comes from a thing where Eddie Murphy wasn't really hating. I think at that time they all were young, successful, hanging out in the same circle. So it's like, hey, I can be. This is the guy that wrote "My Girl Likes to Party All the Time." So he probably saw Bobby Brown out at a couple parties doing what he does, and he's like, hey, you know, I'm friends with you. I saw an interview just now I was watching where he was talking about, you know, they were really good friends, and he never saw her do drugs. Never saw her smoke a cigarette one time. He said, but she never did any of that around him. So I look at it as something, well, just like Erica said, it gives her that street cred. And then her mother didn't want her to do it as well. And you know, people go against their parents, especially with her being a gospel singer. So it's just unfortunate.
I had someone call me before my wedding.
Ooh. Really?
The first one.
And what exactly did he or she say?
He called me from New York. It was a guy that I went out with one time, and we never even had like a physical relationship, but we just were fond of each other. And I hadn't even seen him in probably like over a year, but he's like, I know that you're getting married tomorrow, and if you aren't 100% sure, then go to the airport and I'll fly you out.
And like how did it make you feel? How did that make you feel?
Right. I was in shock because I'm like putting baskets into like carts to get them to the like car. Yeah. And then my future mother-in-law like was walking in at that time. I'm just literally standing in the middle of my apartment like, what are you talking about? And he's like, if you're not 100% sure, go to the airport now.
Did that give you cold feet at all or no?
No, I was just like, why didn't you call me earlier? Like,
man.
I just feel like if that was like someone, like I see you guys day in, day out, right? So if one of you guys said that to me, that would really be like, whoa, to me. But if it's someone I haven't seen in a year, I don't know how I'd be like, why are you calling me?
I would still be like,
Erica said it to me before.
You ain't getting married.
It wasn't married, but to start dating, that to me, that's marriage.
When did you get engaged? Like, when did that happen?
To start dating, remember?
I've said things, yes, because sometimes I think or you see things that you see in people that you're like, this might be problematic in the near future.
All right. Well, speaking of married couples, the Giudice family is reunited. Oldest daughter, Gia, posted this family photo of them together in Italy. Aww. Where Joe is awaiting his final deportation ruling. Bravo cameras captured the whole thing for a Real Housewives of New Jersey special. Happily ever after.
Yeah. Not so much.
I know.
That's like, I mean, that's unfortunate, that whole situation, mainly for the kids. Gia was very candid about it. They played it this week on the episode. I think we have a clip.
I already told him, say you lose this appeal, you better fight it until the Supreme Court. And at first, because he didn't want to be in ICE, he was like, I'm done with this. But I'm just like, if you do that, you will not have a relationship with me.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we kind of knew this all along, right? That it was coming to this point and that nobody was staying if he did get deported and he had to stay there, and that's what it seems like is happening.
Well, because he said that it was worse in ICE than it was in prison.
Yes.
But what Gia was saying was she wanted him to stay in ICE for as long as the appeal took, so that because the idea was that if he left, he wouldn't be able to come back.
Right. Well, we wish them the best. All right, guys, we have an update on a topic that got us fired up yesterday. We talked about T.I.'s appearance on the podcast Ladies Like Us and how he goes to the gynecologist with his 18-year-old daughter to make sure she's still a virgin. Well, now we've learned the podcast has been deleted and the hosts have apologized for laughing at his comments. Do you think this is necessary as being a host of the podcast to apologize? Because if this was said in like jest, I don't know, I didn't listen, so I don't know how I would have took it. But if I'm interviewing someone or I'm with someone, I would just roll with the punches. I don't know. It'd take me a lot to stand up and cut them off.
Yeah, at this point, if someone sat at this table and said something super crazy, I would not just sit here and just laugh it off. But I also come from radio, and was in radio since '99. I've sat with a lot of people who have said things that I would absolutely like cringe thinking about now that I never spoke up, but I also wasn't in a position to speak up, to be quite honest. And if you get an interview like a T.I. whose publicist or manager could also represent the other 4 people who are on power rotation at the station, and you stand up against them and you make them mad, then that's your job.
Absolutely.
So I don't know about just canceling. I think if that was my podcast, I would just wait out the storm and see if it's something that can be redeemed, because by not saying anything, I understand that people are saying they're complicit, but that's a slippery slope. A lot of your podcasts are going to get canceled if that's the threshold for it.
You guys interview a lot of people. Have you ever like got awkward and be like, I should have said something, or do you kind of roll with the punches too?
I've been in both kinds of situations. So I've been in a situation, so one of my old TV shows, I definitely played, like, I was still Stephanie, but I definitely played a little bit of a character. It was very skewed to a Middle Eastern and Asian audience, and I knew like how I should have acted and behaved, and if I acted as real life Stephanie would have, they used to get a little bit mad at me for that, but they would highly edit everything I did to fit their market. So with this, I kind of feel like, you know, whoever was editing it, I mean, just use your common sense a little bit and just know, protect. We work in a live situation, and any of us can say something, or it can be misconstrued at any single time. We rely heavily on each other. If we say something for someone else to help correct us or let it be heard in the right way, or if it's an edited show, I put a lot of my trust in our editors here, or in my old job, I had no say in that, to make sure I'm portrayed in the right kind of way. So for me, I feel a little bit angry at whoever did that to not know how to like construe that a little bit more, or like work with it. But like Erica said, a lot of shows, you don't get that blessing. They don't want to tell celebrities, no, you're wrong, or don't say that, because they don't want to lose those guests on that show.
Right.
Yeah, we're lucky here.
Absolutely.
Be thankful for Erica, because sometimes Brandon just goes, and Erica's just like,
I read her face. I'm really bad at reading the room, but I'm really good at reading Cobb.
Yeah, you are. You guys got a good working relationship. All right, guys. Supermodel Ashley Graham has an interesting way of getting in the mood. She prays with her husband. Let's watch.
And in that power, when we're praying, it's like, oh, oh, do you feel that? And it's like the lights go down, the worship music goes up, and we're like, hello. And next thing you know, after we pray, because we have priorities, we rip it up.
Brandon, I want to know what you think, because I've prayed with you more than I've prayed with anybody in this room.
I mean, sometimes the
Don't
Holy
answer
Ghost.
like she
Sometimes
answered.
the Holy Ghost just hits you. Sometimes, and for them, it's sin-free sex. You know, like if you're a religious person and you're having, I don't want to get into Bible thumping or anything, but you're having premarital sex, you're sinning. But when you are married, in the eyes of God, which she is, you're doing what you're supposed to do. But when we pray at when we went to dinner that time, and I pray before I eat, no, I don't. I just want my steak. I just want my steak.
Being Catholic, I think it comes different religions, different folks, different strokes. You know what I mean? But being Catholic, you know, you pray to like the people who passed on. You want to give them strength. I pray for, you know, healthy kids. It doesn't really put me in the mood. It puts me like at ease a little bit.
I mean, maybe she was, I don't know. This is just me just making this up. But what? Maybe she was praying to get pregnant. Maybe she was praying to have a baby.
But that's
true.
Right?
That's what I mean. Like maybe and as it gets her in the mood.
See,
and, like,
that's what I mean. That makes sense.
Yeah, but I have to say, my husband doesn't pray with me often, but sometimes he'll pray with me, and it's just something that's so powerful that, like, I could see that being such a really deep, intimate connection.
There you go. Brandon's gonna start praying with girls this weekend. Sorry, buddy, it was out there. DBL is live and coming up, whether you like it or not. It's that time of year for Christmas movies, but is it too soon or not soon enough? We're sharing your DBL take. And crazy rumors seem to follow celebs like Charlie Sheen, Megan Fox, and Katy Perry, so we're playing a game to separate fact from fiction next.
This November, DBL is better than ever. We're talking with the father of school shooting victim, Kendrick Castillo.
You know, he was my best friend, and he was the love of his mother's life.
A woman finds out her mother's fertility doctor may be the father.
I'm thinking my dad is not my biological father.
Meeting a transgender mountain climber determined to conquer the world.
Took the risk of becoming my authentic self.
And unraveling mysteries in our true crime chronicles. And that's just the beginning of what's happening on Daily Blast Live this November. We never stop talking about what you're talking about.
Hey. Brandon, got something to say, buddy?
You gotta apologize, man.
No, that one just
Put me
came
out there like that.
That one just came up because every time we talk about like Instagram or something, I'm always like thinking, and I'm like, oh, Brandon's got a new move now. It came up right at the end. I'm like, girl, let me buy you a drink and a prayer.
That's all, whole hand.
I wanted to say
Group prayer.
this is going off complete topic of the praying thing, but you know the first story we were talking about Whitney Houston. Do you not think Erica looks like Whitney Houston today? Look at her outfit.
Yeah.
How Whitney is this outfit with the shoulder? I wanted to say, but then I thought everyone was gonna be like, Steph's gone off on a tangent again.
Look, and you had a music video come out.
Because everyone's like, oh, Steph's so slow off the bat. Like, sometimes I'm a bit slow off the bat, and like it takes me a minute to always realize what's going on. That's how I am. But it dawned on me that Erica is Whitney Houston today.
I didn't notice it, so
Look at the
now I
sleeves,
do.
look at
Now
the
I totally
outfit.
do.
Girl.
There you go.
You do
I'ma pay
look,
her
I
later.
thought when we were doing the story, I was like, I wanted to say, but I didn't want to be like, go off topic and be like, Erica looks like Whitney, you really look
And
like
Jeff
Whitney.
looks like Kevin Costner from The Bodyguard. We got a whole
Do I?
movie set today.
Hell yeah.
A whole movie set.
I won't make
There
you
we go.
risk your life.
Hey,
All right, then.
speaking of Whitney, there is
You
a
almost did.
documentary
I almost like did the
out.
pottery move. I'm like, no, wrong movie.
Have you seen the documentary Whitney, Can I Be Me? I just read this article that her actual bodyguard of 17 years was talking about, you know, her rise and her demise at the same time. Talking about how with Bobby, like she did everything to please Bobby. And he felt like that was the demise. He said he sees it. He used to be a former police officer, and he was like, he kind of equates it to battered wife syndrome. Is what
I think
he
it
saw.
was a form of control, though. I
Yeah.
don't think it was to necessarily, I think it was the format of their relationship.
Because she was the bigger star.
But the thing is, too, you have to remember when someone is constantly getting yesed and they're getting rejection, which he would do. I mean, that just.
Welcome back to DBL. We all know celebrities are a little crazy.
I sure am.
Remember when Angelina Jolie and Billy Bob Thornton walked around with each other's blood in lockets and they wore them around their necks?
Love it.
Ooh. A trending article exposes more weird and bizarre facts about some of our favorite celebs, so we're playing a little game called Crazy Celeb Facts, True or False, and here's your host, Raquel Villanueva.
Thank you, Jeff. Well, the rules are simple. I'll give you a statement about a celebrity, and you have to guess if it's true or false. So first up, Charlie Sheen has spent over $1 million hunting Bigfoot.
Oh, man, I
Jeff,
don't even...
is it true or false?
3,
2, 1. Let's see
I
it.
hope it is.
Oh, well, I did too. It's actually false.
It's not
In
true.
2013, he did go fishing for the Loch Ness Monster. He even flew a private jet out there. So let's get our next celebrity. James Lipton from inside the actor's studio was a pimp in Paris. Now, is this true or false? Pimp in Paris. Okay, give you a 3, 2, 1.
Please.
Well, the answer, Brandon, is true.
Did you see the answer?
The 93-year-old said it was only a few years after the war, and Paris was a different time then.
So it's okay to be a pimp.
All right, Steph, guess what? You are ahead right now. Steph is winning.
Don't tell me that, because that's when it always goes wrong.
You still got it. So how about this one? Megan Fox believes in leprechauns. So what do you think? True or false? And I'll give you till 3, 2, 1. Oh, everyone's great at this game because it's true. In an interview, Megan said we should all believe in leprechauns, but not the Lucky Charms kind, the old school leprechauns. And here's a fun one. The founder of Match.com's girlfriend left him for a man she met on Match.com. Now, is this true or false?
That's a little too ironic.
Right. 3, 2, 1.
It was eHarmony.
The answer is true. When Gary Kreeman launched the site, he had all friends and family members sign up to get more profiles, including his girlfriend.
Wait, isn't there a Netflix show that's based on this?
All right, Steph, I got
so.
some good news for you. You're still in the lead, but Erica has now tied up with you, so it's battle with the ladies. Now, up next, Star Wars creator George Lucas has 14 full-time stormtroopers guarding his Skywalker ranch. Now, is this true or false? See your answers right now.
Why wouldn't he?
It's 8.
All right, the answer is false.
I didn't think Melody would allow it.
Erica's winning.
However, he does have a fire department that also helps protect wildfires in the ranch.
I knew that.
That's not
Erica,
cool.
you are now in the lead with that.
Am I close?
Oh, I don't know about that, Brandon. Now, here are our final celebrities. True or false? Katy Perry collects locks of other celebrities' hair.
I know that one.
Is it true or false? Steph seems to be very confident.
I know that one.
Let's see everyone else's answers.
I saw it.
I did too.
All right, the answer is true, Steph. She admitted to having both Miley Cyrus's and Taylor Swift's locks, but it wasn't enough because Erica is our winner.
Why so mad? He just won.
Hey, finally someone from Chicago won because the Bears are terrible.
That was just getting back at me because of the prank.
I'm sorry.
Raquel, you did an excellent job.
Yeah,
I'm
you
gonna keep it
did.
classy up here.
Killed
Good job. All right, guys. I was thinking of something for Brandon. I got nothing. Coming up on DBL, the great debate over Christmas movies, that is, and when it's time to start watching them. It's November 7th, so is it too soon? Should we wait at least till December or after Thanksgiving? Your comments are next.
Hi, DBL Nation. Welcome to our Fast Blast Entertainment Edition, where I give you some headlines you might have missed. So let's get started with Pixar because we are getting our first look at the latest movie called Soul. Take a look.
So what do you want to be remembered for?
Probably for doing this funny cowboy dance.
Great.
The movie was 23 years in the making, according to the co-director, and the movie stars Jamie Foxx and Tina Fey. It comes out June 2020. And speaking of movies, the new Charlie's Angels features a couple extra angels. Olympic gold medalist Aly Raisman is a real-life superhero, and she revealed she is also in the film, posting a pic to Instagram with the caption, "Good morning, Charlie." And if you look closely, there's another Olympian too, Chloe Kim. Now, the film comes out this month. And Lady Gaga is on the mend again. She had to cancel a show due to bronchitis and posted an apology to Instagram saying she's devastated. And you can see she's hooked up with an IV in her arm and promises to make it up to all her little monsters. And we just have to say, get well soon, Gaga. And that's it for our Fast Blast Entertainment Edition. See you next time.
This November, DBL is better than ever.
We're gonna go with that.
Don't miss a minute of Daily Blast Live.
Okay, all right.
Buck Rogers in the 25th century.
Buck Rogers is back on the air. Buck and Wilma and all their fascinating friends and mysterious enemies in the super...
Welcome back to DBL. Thanksgiving isn't for a couple of weeks, but Hollywood's got that Christmas spirit just like me. Several new holiday movies are coming out, including a new one with Emilia Clarke called Last Christmas, like you just heard. They're calling it the ultimate Christmas rom-com. Meantime, Netflix is releasing their first animated movie called Klaus. Looks good. And FX Network will air a spooky version of A Christmas Carol. So DBL Nation, too early for Christmas or just in time? Let's get right to their comments. Stephanie.
Well, Dante says, I hate to admit it, but a week into November, and I've already seen a couple of Christmas movies on Hallmark.
Good for you, Dante.
What is wrong with you, love? I don't even know. Pass. It's not time. It's not time. And I'm not even American, and until Thanksgiving's been, don't even talk to me about Christmas.
Well, you're mad about it.
That was a good one.
I don't, it's not Christmas time. We've only just had Halloween.
What does Thanksgiving even mean to you?
Nothing.
Good point, Erica.
Wow, okay. Georgia says it's going to be weird seeing Daenerys, mother of dragons, as a Christmas elf. Yeah, just sitting there watching her just now, I'm just like, hey, Jakartas, like burn something, burn the tree, burn an elf, like do something.
Movie?
Yeah, but that's her. That's how I see her now, Emilia Clarke.
Well, maybe you should watch the movie and get a new perspective.
There you go. Jillian says, I try to space out the Christmas movies so I'm not prematurely sick of them before Christmas even comes. Jillian, I would argue that there's no way to really get sick of the movies or get sick of anything Christmassy. Honestly, if you wait until after Thanksgiving, you are wasting a lot of time because most people are traveling and then you're out of town for like a week, maybe 2 weeks, so your Christmas tree isn't even used. You put the lights up only to take them down just a couple weeks later. Get in the Christmas spirit. I think I'm going to decorate this weekend.
Yeah, Cobb, I love it.
Come back.
All right, guys. Yes. Tyson says you never know. Oh, you know they've run out of ideas when they reboot A Christmas Carol. How many times have we seen that story? Come on, man. Tyson, it's a classic. You can't just because you can't redo Christmas, Caleb. You make me sad.
Is that the one where they're like,
makes me sad?
Are you going to shoot your eye out?
No, it's the new Christmas Carol with Ebenezer Scrooge.
Well, we just watched the bloody advert for.
It's supposed to be really like graphic.
What's wrong with you?
But there's a nice lesson in that story.
We've just seen it. Well, Caleb says, I'm with you, Caleb. Good lad. It's way too early to be watching holiday movies. Let the Halloween candy settle before you start watching Christmas movies and ODing on eggnog and candy canes. You correct, my son.
Who's he talking about? Buddy the Elf? Nobody does that.
And what kind of Halloween candy is he having that it needs to settle?
Candy corn, which is the greatest.
Oh, but I tried that for the first time last year on this show, and it was the most repulsive sweet I've ever had.
It is bad.
It is bad.
All right, we still like eggnog. Sally Sue, ooh, great name, says, you only get to watch Christmas movies 2 months out of the year. That's only 1/6 of the year, which when you think about it that way, it's not that much. Wow, she broke it down mathematical terms.
Does it change your mind?
No. I still want the turkey bowl. I still want to see Fox NFL football on Thursday. I know I'm not supposed to say that.
We're divided, literally, 50-50.
But I want to bring you guys on our side.
Yeah, it was 50-50 between right and wrong.
Wow.
No,
yes.
never.
Erica Cobb's on fire tonight.
Okay,
I love it. No more talking. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
Headlines like these are frustratingly common. New study claims, report says. They attribute the information to a scientific study, but if you're a parent, you're not focusing on the word study or report, you're focused on 95% of baby foods are filled with toxic chemicals. That's freaky. It's a terrifying claim, and it doesn't tell you what to do about it. But the reality is that most of these headlines sit above pretty complicated articles. And that's partly because scientific research is complicated. Read the actual articles, or better yet, the actual research, and you'll find that the reality is less study finds 95% of baby foods contain toxic metals, and more study into about 150 popular baby foods found trace amounts of elements like lead. Some of those amounts were higher than the recommended safety levels by the FDA, and the scientists are calling for more research. Yeah, side by side, it's pretty obvious why people pick this headline over this word monstrosity. But flashy headline doesn't mean good headline. A wordier one may not get more clicks, but it could convey more accurate info, and people reading it might respond more accurately. See, if you ask a research scientist, they'll tell you that scientific studies don't actually determine facts. What do I mean? Let's say I flipped a coin 3 times and all 3 times it landed on heads. If we stopped there, I could conclude that anytime you flip a coin, it lands on heads. My conclusion is a theory, not a fact. For most theories like gravity, tests are run and run and run and repeated thousands of times, and as evidence builds, those theories can change. A good theory is tested multiple times and has a lot of evidence to support it. So back to my coin theory. If we tested this even one more time, we'd see that my theory was wrong. More tests show that flipped coins have a 50-50 chance of landing on heads. Okay, Jason, if theories are always changing, how do we get completely opposite claims? You know what I'm talking about. 1984, studies say eat less salt. 2013, new studies say eat more salt again. This is confusing, but it's actually part of that same process. Our understanding of the human body and its dietary needs changed between those tests in 1984 and 2013. So did the research. That doesn't mean that either of those tests were definitively wrong. We just have new understandings that change how we interpret that data. And that's the key takeaway. When you read a headline like this, remember that one study's results aren't fact. They could be true, they could be false, or they could be some combo of both. If it's an important subject, look for more research into the claims. That can take time, but more tests and more evidence can help prove if a theory is accurate or if we need to change our understanding of it. With your Verify, I'm Jason Puckett.
Move over Black Friday. There is a new shopping holiday that wants to put money back into your wallet. Let's connect the dots. Retail Me Not is launching a new holiday they're calling Cash Back Day. It kicks off today, and it gives customers up to 20% cash back on items purchased during a 24-hour period. Some of the big retailers taking part: Home Depot, Macy's, Amazon, Expedia, and Overstock. The only catch, you have to shop online and you have to register with retailmenot.com. Shoppers will get their money 45 days later through Venmo or PayPal. Going forward, Cashback Day will be celebrated the first Thursday of November, joining the retail holiday ranks of Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, and Cyber Monday. And that is Connecting the Dots.
Sandal's word of the day is sunscreen.
Welcome back to DBL. Brandon, you have some comments?
Dale. Let's get to that. Cheryl Hannah says, just let Whitney rest already.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of agree with that as well. But like you said yesterday, Erica, this woman needs to speak her truth.
Yes,
she was
for
silenced
both of them.
back in the day. Yeah. And Amanda Miller says, I watch this show all the time when it comes on, Monday through Friday, Amanda. Thanks for the follow.
Thanks, Amanda.
Yeah. We love you,
I was saying
Amanda.
earlier, right, I didn't say this at the time because I didn't want to like distract and all, but does Erica Cobb not look like Whitney Houston today? Look at the hair, look at the hips, right? Look at the shoulder pads. You need to show the sleeves because this was the look. They had the big shoulder pads and it goes into a tight sleeve.
80s Whitney.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's pretty good.
And she just released a music video. It's so fitting.
And she signed to my record label.
Now, what else did we talk about in the break, Steph? You like some Christmas lights.
Whatever.
She's lying. We'll see you guys tomorrow.